So, thank you for opening up your patio today.
More than welcome.
What a beautiful day, man. I think we're gonna set a record. They said 92 degrees early April, so.
It is, it feels good though.
It's pretty nice right now under this cover.
I'm tired of the wet, sticky weather, so it's nice.
Yes, it's a nice break. So we are quarantining. I think we're 6 feet away, playing by the rules here. So we wanted to just do something a little outdoors and stay in touch with you guys. And I've done a lot of these over the last year or so, but I hadn't sat down with Ray, and I thought it would only be appropriate to do so because actually I kind of inherited Ray with the store. Isn't that right?
Yeah, you should have read the fine print when you bought the store, as I've told you before.
Somehow Ray stuck it out with me. It was kind of funny when I visited the store several times before I finally closed the deal, and Fridays were crazy around there.
Was I never in there?
Well, no, you were probably there,
Yeah.
but I remember going on Fridays a couple times, and Fridays was kind of their big deal. I think they did a little wine happy hour, and stopped by, and that was the only day I was there. There was 20 people on a Friday. I came by a week or two later. There was 20 people there on a Friday, and then I closed on the place, and it was me and you.
That's right. That's right.
I think you're the only one that stuck it out with me.
That's right.
No, a lot of people end up coming back, which was awesome, but I think a lot of people naturally don't like change. I kind of stepped in and I changed some of the rules from the beginning. And in hindsight, I probably would have done a few things a little bit differently, but hindsight's always 20/20.
It doesn't seem like it, but that's a long time ago.
It really was.
I mean, gosh, and then it was open, what, 5 years before you bought it?
Yeah, so I bought it, I bought it 3 days or 4 days after their 4th anniversary.
Okay.
And then I've had it a little over 5 years, 6
Right.
years now. So we're at 10 years basically for Renegade. And we're in our new location now, and you followed us over to the new location. In fact, you had a lot to do with that coming to fruition. So publicly, I'd like to say thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I
I was selfishly looking for a place to spend time with my buddies, so but it's great it worked out.
So at the lounge, man, it's kind of funny because like our circle of friends now, like me, you probably have a circle of non-cigar friends, but probably the guys you talk to the most are the guys I talk to the most. We share a lot of friends that emanated from the Cigar Lounge, so.
We do. Done business with people in there. Originally, when I went there, I was working on a deal with a guy, and we would just meet there in the afternoons, right after it opened 10 years ago, or whatever that is now. And so that's how all that got started. And since then, a couple of business contacts, friendships that you never would expect to sort of blossom. And so it's been really neat. And now that you're closed, it's interesting that those people are texting and talking and Zooming, and they're making a real effort to stay in touch with each other, which is nice.
It is. That's one of the things that always kind of surprises me about the lounge is people that would have never met outside of that place, right? I've got friends that are 10 years my junior, 20 years my senior. I got people that are
don't
retired.
Look at me when you say that.
No, but people that are retired that I wouldn't cross paths with in normal course of business. And that's kind of the cool thing about the shop is it's brought a lot of those people together, right?
It has.
You've got guys that you play golf with, that you met at the shop. I mean, and then we're down, and it's like, when we say we're down, the doors are closed at the shop, and it's kind of the boys from the shop are all trying to figure out a way to stay in touch, which, like you said, is pretty awesome.
It is good, and that social network has grown outside the walls of Renegade, even when you were open. These guys were playing tennis together, they're playing golf together on a regular basis. A little bit of work has to go into making that happen, but then everybody kind of gets involved, and before you know it, it's not really only about cigars anymore.
No.
It's really more social and more about friendships, and a lot of business has been done in there. A lot of guys have made contacts, and I get legal advice from people I've met there. I get accounting advice from people I've met there, and some people get poor advice from me occasionally. It's unique. I've been in other cigar stores, and I don't really know exactly what it is beyond what you've tried to do. But it's even in the cigar world, it's really unique.
I think so too.
Yeah, it is.
So tell us a little bit about you, man. Tell us your story. What is your what's your professional story?
Where do you
want
to start?
Kids, wife? What do we got?
Where do you want to start? Well, Maya, I have a Maya, and I got 2 boys, Sean and Connor. And Connor just graduated, and he's working up in McKinney, making hand sanitizer like a crazy man. And Sean is out of school and at home, and like the rest of us, going a little bit stir crazy. So I think he's staying up half the night playing Xbox, and like all of his friends are right now. So we're almost at opposite schedules, right now.
He goes to bed while you're up cooking breakfast.
Yeah, if I get up really early, I may pass him sometimes. May pass him on the way up. But what else is he going to do? They can't play tennis. The club's closed down here. The courts are closed. The courts are closed at school. So it's a little bit tough. It's a little bit tough for them. So, but it's worked out well.
And
we'll make it work anyway.
And then you come from a storage background, but you've kind of done a little bit of everything.
Really,
real estate background.
After college, I was really in retail because I had worked in retail, paying my college bills, right?
Yeah.
So naturally graduating, and that's what I went ahead to do while I was sort of figuring my longer term plans out. Well, that took about 10 years.
Yeah.
So I was in retail a long time, and it was not my calling, but it was good. Sales and retail were good experience because I did get into real estate about 20 years ago or so. And the retail and the sales background and environment really applied to real estate in a way that those people were not used to.
Yeah.
The old school axiom is location, 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 right? So, and that's kind of what they believed. And so I was able to teach them that, location's important, but the people in there and how the business is run and how it's accounted, that stuff's important. So that worked out really well. And more recently, I've done some consulting and helped a variety of people out occasionally. Not enough, but
some here and there.
That's what I've done the last several.
It's funny. You said something about location, and I think for certain businesses, right? If I had a car wash, I'd want to be on a hard corner, right? And there's certain businesses where I think that without question that's still important. But I sometimes wonder if it's the millennial in me, or. But so much business now is about reputation. It's about social presence. It's about being able to be searched on Google. Just the reputation you have. And I sometimes wonder. I've been looking at real estate. I just moved the shop 9 months ago, and there's been a lot of thought that I've had of whether that's still as important as what it used to be.
Not for the average business, I wouldn't say so. I mean, but it isn't that long ago when that was the very first and most important thing people would look at. They always wanted to see visibility and access. That's all anybody wanted. Because otherwise, again, it's not too long ago when if you wanted to find a business, you went to the yellow pages. They weren't as accessible. They weren't as obvious. Yeah. And by the way, everybody wanted to be on Main and Main because you didn't have GPS to take you there if it's 2 or 3 blocks off. So there's no question. It is not as important as it used to be. It's still a nice tiebreaker if you're looking at a location, but it's not a deal breaker if you're not sitting on that absolute great real estate.
I just drive down the highway now and I see people with their phones in front of them, right? I know when I check into a hotel in a new city, the first thing I look for is best restaurants near me or cigar shop near me. I don't go down the road anymore and just look left and right and see what I can find.
Right. I don't think anybody does really.
Yeah, so I think that's changed. So it's funny that you brought that up because I've spent a lot of time over the last 5 years thinking about that. Well, let's finish it up, man. What do you like to smoke? I know you're kind of all over the map, but you're a Herrera Esteli guy. But I think you've got a cigar with your name on it at the shop.
Yeah, there's a Ray. I couldn't make it again with a gun to my head, but I probably know less about cigars than any of your customers, but I know what I like. Yeah. So it's like barbecuing or something. I make it to my own taste, right? And then if other people like it, that's great. But I don't know enough about it to make a boutique blend or anything like that. But I know what I like, and then you help a lot. I'll tell you, my knowledge is limited, so I'll say, man, I need something new, and you know what to give me because you sort of know what I enjoy and what I don't enjoy. So that's kind of a nice thing too. But if I was going to the chair and you said, you know, you only get one cigar, right? I mean, it would be a Padron 64,
Okay.
which would not be the choice of a lot of guys. A lot of people would say, no, I want this other, I won't say the brand, but anyway, but I just love those cigars. So whenever I've smoked something and I'm not sure what I want.
You're just in a rut. You need
I'll just
something
go
new. Just go to Old Faithful.
It always kicks off. But I like those Series Vs. I like those Melanios, you know. I like the Arroyos. I like the Padrones.
But Padron is your desert island cigar.
Yeah, it would have to be, just because for whatever reason, it just hits me exactly right. You know, it draws the way I like a cigar to draw. It burns the way I like one to burn, and I just enjoy it. And I keep waiting for one to kind of grab me more than that,
But nothing has.
and it really hasn't.
Well, next time you guys are in the lounge, check out the Ray. It's an interesting blend that we've got. It's got some Peruvian tobacco in it, some Nicaraguan tobacco. Nice creamy blend, but we really blended it to Ray's liking. He sat down with us, I don't know, 4 hours, and we kind of went back and forth. I had a pretty good idea of what strength
while
profile
back.
you wanted,
Yeah.
what you were looking for, but you know, he wanted more of this, less of this.
We just tweaked it for a while.
Tweaked it for a while, and I think Ray got dizzy, but all that work was worth it, because we probably
That is
sold,
true.
I don't know, 50,000 of them since we came up with that blend. But most of you guys know Ray if you hang out at the lounge. But we got a lot of guys that are in and out that probably don't know you, so I thought it'd be cool to spend a few minutes, just kind of introduce you to the customers, smoke a cigar together on this beautiful day. And what's your, what are we sipping on here, man?
That is a gin and tonic.
Mine is a gin and
Which is
tonic,
flavored.
which is kind of a given, but what is yours?
Well, that's also a given. Mine's a vodka tonic.
Vodka
so
tonic, man.
That's not a big stretch either.
Well, let's
a nice day.
Let's do a cheers, and thanks
Cheers
for
to
spending
everyone's
time
health.
with me, brother.
All right, thank you.